Listen, I'm sorry. You're highly professional. What can you get here?
Ooh! Yes, the Comic Book League is here to save the day, and this is the show where Ohio throws down. Ohio is on fire. I'm your host, Daniel Diesel, and we have another live episode for you tonight. And we are here live in the studios of WWSU 106.9 FM, Dane's Right Choice. And there's several things I gotta get off my chest tonight. But first off, tonight is something I've done last year, and it's back again this year. It's a fun tournament. I think people that love music around the area, they enjoy it. But Dayton Indie Music Madness 2015 is finally here once again. And here's how it works. As you know, for most of my episodes, in between my talking segments, I play music. But this is a special type of playlist, because this is actually a competitive competition that means something. I've taken artists from Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Indianapolis, Indiana, and about 54 music artists total. And over the next month and a half, they will compete for votes from listeners at home. They got to go to Facebook, go to the Dayton Indie Music Madness page, and vote for the songs available. Tonight I'm playing Round 1, Group A, and I got 17 artists available tonight. There was supposed to be 18. There was a technical difficulty with one of the artists, which was out of their control, so I will make that announcement later on the show. But like I said, when you deal with a lot of artists, when you deal with technologies, every once in a while, things are imperfect sometimes. But and I just got waved at by some people outside. Yes, we're having a good time tonight, because Dayton Indie Music Madness is on its way, and Group A has been available to be voted on since 6 o'clock, and that's how I'll work for the next 3 weeks. I got Group A tonight, then Group B next week, then April 7th I got Group C, and then we'll have Round 2, the Sweet 16, if you will. That'll be on April 14th, and then April 21st, I will have the final 8 be announced, as they'll be the winners of the head-to-head matchups, which I'll explain that as it gets closer, in case you don't know what it is. And of course, April 28th will be the championship show and a reunion where the winner will be announced, and there'll be a lot of people here live. I'll have a golden award and at least $400 cash for the winner. There might be more. And you can help out. If you want to help out with Dayton Music Madness, you got to visit. Go to Facebook, search Dayton, as in the city Dayton, then Indie, I-N-D-I-E, then music, and then madness. It's very simple if you don't know what it is yet. And help out, and I'm also going into the files, and open the 2015 guidelines. It tells you what you can do to participate, what you can do to help raise the stakes for the tournament, for the top 4 placers of this tournament, and what you can do to spread the word for this tournament. Because I'm just one guy, and this is a big idea, and this is going to be fun. We're having a lot of fun already. According to what I'm seeing, a bunch of votes have been casted already, and I haven't even begun the show yet, hardly. So this is great. So good luck to all artists involved. I'll get to the music in just a little bit. But a few announcements. Yes, Cincinnati Reds. I love my baseball. They are coming in 2 weeks. Their opening day is April 6th. Joey Votto, he's back. He was dealing with a leg injury last year, but he's back. He's better than ever. Remember the other day, he was at a spring training game. He hit 2 home runs in the last 2 innings of the game. The Reds were down like 6 runs or something. He hit both home runs and drove in like a bunch of RBIs. The Reds got on a big roll. And he said, Joey Votto, he's Superman. I don't think that man is real. I think he's from outer space. I think he's filled with, I'm trying to think of some weird gas he'd be filled of. Some red helium, I'll just say Joey Votto is filled with red helium because he's a Cincinnati Red. And helium doesn't make any sense. That'd make him sound like a chipmunk if he spoke. So anyway, the Reds are going to win the World Series. And I mean this time. I know I'm a super fan. But listen, I mark my words. The Reds, they will go to the World Series. They'll defeat the New York Yankees in 6 games. It's going to happen. Johnny Cueto, he'll win the Cy Young. He will win 23 games, and he'll have an ERA below 2 because he's a freak of nature. Joey Votto will bat .358, and what else? Jay Bruce, he'll have a bounce back season. He'll hit 40 home runs. It'll happen because he's been working out. He's been working on his glutes all season. He's this big, strong Jay Bruce. Billy Hamilton will steal 100 bases, and yeah, they're the best in the world. So yes, that's my prediction. The Reds over the Yankees, 6 games, and the Reds will be the best team ever. And of course, my friends of mine are waving at me. I know you guys can see it at home, but I'm very much liked by people on this campus, so it's good to be liked. So anyways, that's the Reds. What else? Oh yeah, mark your calendars if you know what I'm talking about. But Super Troopers 2 will be made this summer. They're going to film this summer, and they're doing a crowdfunding source. The actors, they're from Broken Lizard, the 4 men that made this movie. They're from the comedy troupe Broken Lizard, but they're asking people to help fund this movie. They want to start filming this July. If you make donations to Super Troopers 2 at the website of crowdfunding.com, if you go there, there's like a high bid of $100, you win a T-shirt. And for $50, if you put in at least $20, you get your names in the credit. I think I read that right. I hope I can update that if I got it wrong. But that's exciting. You know what? I want my name in the credits of Super Troopers 2 because I love the first movie. It's going to happen. So I plan on making a donation. First chance I get, I'll make a little donation. And I think for really high bidders, like if you bid like $1,000, you get a part in the movie. I think the highest bidder, they will actually fly you out there and put you in the movie. I don't know if I have $1,000, or even it might be higher than that. It might be $10,000 by the time people bid on it. But maybe that'd be cool to be an actor. I can polish my acting skills. What would I do in that movie? They'd probably have me in my underwear being hit by chocolate milk. Similar to, if you remember with Farva, like in that first movie, he was, I think most of them got naked. He got naked, and that one guy, he was wearing like a cup made of a bulletproof vest, and it protected him when he got shot. And he was wearing nothing but that. That's what they'll have me do. I'll probably be butt naked, and that's not going to be a sight anyone wants to see. Tell you what, so let's hope I just bid $20, and I'll get my names in the credit. I look forward to it. That'll be great. In other news, the Dayton Flyers, they were eliminated from the tournament. They played Oklahoma this past Sunday, and the Dayton Flyers, they made news last year. They made all the way to the Elite 8 before losing to Florida, and everyone was going crazy. I know all the people on campus of UD, and I think in parts of Wright State University, because that's like a big popular team around here. It was like Woodstock. I think I mentioned this last year. People were holding outdoor parties. People were turning over cars. They were getting in a fist fight with cops. And that would have happened again this year. It would have happened in the streets of Columbus, in the streets of Dayton. So maybe it's, so some cars will be saved this year. We will not have to, your life insurance, your car insurance will not be involved this year. Because the Dayton Flyers, they were eliminated. They had a few good players. Sibert, I think his last name's Sibert. He was like their junior. If I'm wrong, like I said, I don't really follow the players that much. They just talk about it on the news. And well, good for them, but it's all about the championship. It's all about the base. And the Dayton Flyers, they just didn't quite have it. Kentucky's probably going to win it all because they're too good. They're 36-0. They're going to go 40-0. I thought they would lose, but I don't see anyone beating them. They got 5 players that's going to go to the NBA and score 30 points a game. They're freaks. That's a good team. I think they're going to win. It's possible they could have lost. I had Northern Iowa going all the way for some reason, but they got eliminated in the first round, and it screwed up my bracket. So anyway, Kentucky Wildcats, unless a shocker happens, unless a big upset happens, it's probably going to be UK. They're really good. So there's that. And one more thing I want to talk about before I play the first batch of musics from them 2015. I'll talk about South by Southwest. I love this festival. Hope to go there one day. It concluded this past Sunday. They have a thing called the MTVU Woody Awards. And over there, these award shows, it determines the best in college music and the best in college radio. And of course, that takes place over at South by Southwest, being that they represent independent music. And college radio is independent music. So I'll briefly announce the winners of what's listed here at MTVU's Woody website. It's a big deal for what I do right now. It's a big stinking deal. So the Woody of the Year was a guy named Porter Robertson. He's a R&B singer from somewhere, I don't know. And then Artists to Watch, they're the Rookies of the Year for college radio. It's some years and years. That's something. Now the best independent music video was Childish Gambino with Sober. And then the co-sign Woody, I don't know what that means, is Hoodie Allen featuring Ed Sheeran with All About It. Oh, and they're dressed up as superheroes, so the gang here, the Comic League, might like that. Anyway, the Social Climber Woody is Jack and Jack. And then another one, we got the cover Woody. Taylor Swift, she covered Rip Tide by, the original artist was Vance Joy. And then another award, Next Level Performance Woody by Childish Gambino. And the big one, at least according to me it's the big one, the College Radio Woody of the Year. So all college radio stations across this country is eligible for this award. And went to the University of Pittsburgh. Boo! Yes. Them and their big $300,000 budget and their hot women that go to Pittsburgh and they're really smart people and their well-organized website. How dare they win that College Radio Woody? Let me tell you something. The real talent here is right here at WWSU 106.9 FM. We got the talent. We got I'm robbed again. But I feel next year we'll be in the top 10 because there's 10 nominees and there's perks for all nominees that get flown out to South by Southwest for free. And I want to go to South by Southwest for free next year. I want to go. I want to take Ted Beast. I want to take, who else can I take? DJ Crest. I'll take him. And, I'll take all of y'all. We're going to be recognized next year. Because next year we're going to win it all. I know that's a corny statement like most sports teams make to their team. But next year, next year we're going to be in the Final 10. We're going to win it all. We're going to South by Southwest and do whatever it is they do over there. And no, it's a fun place. I've seen it on TV and on YouTube. I do want to go one day, and it could be next year if we luck out. So, listeners at home, please support WWSU 106.9. We're the ones that bring you your best radio shows here in Dayton, Ohio. And of course, coming up next, this station is going to bring you Dayton, Indie, Music, Madness 2015. That's coming up right now. So here's what's going to happen. Let's I'll play these songs. They're all available. There's a designated post. Sorry about that. I gave directions on what you got to do, and then you can scroll underneath and we'll listen to all the songs right now. Of course, I'm going to play them one by one during this broadcast. So with that, the first song I'm going to play is a band by All the Trees Are Hers and their song Halloween Night. After that, I'm going to play Best for Last, Got You Now. After that, we censored the image in their song On the Vine. And then the fourth song I'll play in my block of music will be Send Her Home When You're Around. So that's coming up right now. All right.
Damage, Kathy.
All right, 3 seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1. And we are live here at Ohio is on Fire. I'm your host, Daniel Diesel. And I'll be playing more songs as part of Dayton Indie Music Madness in just a little bit. But I got my special guest for tonight. We're going to have a special discussion on comic books. We got members of the Comic Book League and also several comic book experts who are familiar with the league, and they're really smart and cool people. And I'm going to let them introduce each other individually. They're Mike Sharon, so go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Wait, we can introduce each other?
Or yourself.
Is Chris? Or, oh, okay.
Yes, introduce yourself like you have something special. Put that mic in your face.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Doc. I'm the president of the Comic Book League. We were supposed to be doing a superpowered thing, but I was the only one who got a power thus far, and I have omni manipulation, so I can manipulate literally everything. So that's pretty fun.
So the only guy who has a power got every power, which I think is just somehow just wrong. I just don't think that's right. I'm Kathy. I am the vice president of the Comic Book League, and I enjoy comic books just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, because that's why I'm vice president. So, next.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm just another member of the Comic Book League. Haven't gotten a title or anything. To be honest, I did this thing earlier because I was the only one who realized how the power generator worked. And I have the power of, I can't remember the name, but basically if I believe that I can manipulate something, I can manipulate it. So if I believe that I can shoot lightning beams out of my hands, for example, I can do it. Because when you believe, you can do anything, and that's really corny.
That's like a Disney movie, right?
Yes, it is!
But Kathy, you did get a power. You got...
You got non-lethal damage causing.
Yes, you did!
You got Batman powers.
You're basically...
Alright.
Alright, you.
Elise, go.
Okay.
Oh, well, way to ruin her name. Spoilers for those at home.
Well, you all know my name now because of Kathy. My name's Elise.
Skew like...
Hi, Elise.
I don't know, yeah.
Elise,
Yes, you're Elise. Good job.
Manipulation.
All right, who's next? We got 4 so far. We got 4 more to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Jacob Slazak. I am the unofficial pun master of the Comic Book League. I have
Yes, you
control
are.
over all witty humor and non-witty humor, but mostly non-witty humor.
Oh, they're witty. You the man.
Wit is relative, I suppose.
Hey, baby. I'm Spencer.
Oh my.
I'm the host of a podcast called Cover to Cover. It's a comic book themed.
Boo, you're my competitor.
Whoa!
Oh, it's on.
We're gonna throw down.
Yeah, we have to. The ratings war.
Yeah. And I'm joined here by my co-host.
Oh, I got promoted.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, my name is Chris Kaus. I'm actually I'm a co-host of the Cover to Cover podcast. I'm also one of the creators of the Comic Book League here at Red State. Right now, I'm actually an alumni. I just graduated last year, which is really exciting. And I'm also the creator and editor of my own blog called Angelic Comics.
And we got one more guy. He's got something to say.
Hello, I am Dalton Mortimer. I am the secretary of the Comic Book League and also unofficial archivist because I have kind of an obsession with things being orderly and filed.
Awesome. And now for the record, you know I'm also the host of Ohio's on Fire. I am currently the treasurer of the Comic Book League, and I go by Super Diesel. I got the strength of 10 people. That's really, really strong. Okay, that's my superpower. It's live radio. I couldn't
Artie,
think.
the strongest man in the world!
I love it. That's a good idea. All right, so let's get some questions out of the way. Now, what's a good comic book that's coming out this year that people should look forward to? Anyone can answer this.
Who wants to start?
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to Secret Wars from Marvel coming up in May. Actually, their Secret Wars 0 comes out on Free Comic Book Day, which I believe is May 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah, and they are ending the current Marvel universe and replacing it with something slightly different, but retaining a lot of the same stuff. So I'm expecting a lot of great and awesome things from it, and hopefully they'll keep around some of my favorite stuff too.
Okay. All right.
I'm with you there. I'm looking forward to Secret Wars. I'm also looking forward to Convergence, which is kind of the exact thing, but for DC.
Copycatters.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, I think that DC announced Convergence when they announced Multiversity.
I know Marvel has been building to theirs for
a little while,
quite a while
since
actually.
Marvel now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I'm also looking forward to the first modern comic crossover for Doctor Who, because we're getting the 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors all in one place, so that'll be great.
Yes.
Awesome. Now I want to ask you this. There's a lot of popular movies that come from the world of comic books. I think one of the most anticipated ones is coming in 2016 with Superman versus Batman. So with your response, either by cheers or boos, followed by your quick opinion, what are your expectations for this movie? Boo or cheer?
I'm excited.
Yay!
Boo!
Go ahead, Dalton.
I am cautiously skeptical because I wasn't the biggest fan of Man of Steel, but then again, Man of Steel was mostly a prequel, so all of the plot bits will be expressed later. Personally, I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange, which will be coming out around the same time, and it will be the Sorcerer Supreme in his house.
That's right.
Or rather, in the
knowledge to say that every time you say Doctor Strange.
or rather in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yes, that's how you do it. That's how you do.
Starring Benedict Cumberbatch, which will draw in a lot of fangirls, regardless of whether or not they know who Doctor Strange is.
But
That's right. Go ahead.
but as for Batman v Superman, I'm excited for it, if only for the fact that we'll finally get to see these two characters on screen together.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I like the casting choices for both. I mean, I really like Henry Cavill as Superman, and I really like the idea of Ben Affleck as Batman. So
Yeah, a lot of people give Ben Affleck grief over Daredevil, and I think that's unwarranted. I think he's actually a very good actor, and he was just given some terrible material to work with.
he was one of the best parts of Daredevil.
Yeah, I think he is going to do a just complete bang-up job.
Oh yeah.
And I look forward to seeing it just specifically to make all of the haters sad. Yeah. But
All right.
On top of that, can I say that secretly, one of them should die? Like, I really hope either Superman or Batman just dies.
But they can't. There's a Justice
They
League movie.
can't, of course. But man, they really need
It could happen.
They've been around too
It's
long.
the movie universe. Anything can happen. It's,
Well, but the problem with it is, if they're going to do a Justice League movie, they're going to want at least the 7 founding members.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the 7 founding members
Right.
they established in the animated series.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess they could switch it up a little bit.
Because, the comics, their founders were completely different in the comics.
But I mean, of
Oh,
course
we're
they're gonna put Aquaman in it. It's gonna be cool stuff.
Also,
Sure.
how ironic would it be if Superman died by neck breaking and Batman died by back breaking?
I'd be wrong.
interesting.
It could just be like a double kill.
Even if they did die, they would probably bring them back because we're neglecting to take into account that superheroes don't often stay dead.
I mean, that's true.
Any book series, in any movie, the characters don't stay dead.
Well, that's true. That seems to
Game
be
of
the
Thrones.
I'm excited for
the Flash,
I think Jason Momoa is going
the original one.
Jason Momoa is.
He looks the part.
Yeah, he does.
really
he looks
does.
like...
Donatello won't stay dead. Spoiler alert. Oh, go ahead.
I am 100% of the opinion that they should rename the Aquaman franchise entirely. They should start calling it Arthur, King of Atlantis.
Yes.
And I think Jason Momoa completely fits that bill.
He definitely does not look like an Aquaman. He looks like an Arthur, King of
I like the
Atlantis.
black and white color scheme that they went with, as opposed to like the greens and stuff. That's for a different age and a different time period. But
I'm excited, actually. I think DC is finally going to start really hitting these movies hard and competing with Marvel. And
I
they
hope
well,
haven't done
Yeah.
I tell you what, if they are going to try and compete with Marvel right now, there's no way they're going to kill off either Superman or Batman.
no, of course not.
In the first movie, like they can't just go off of what the Dark Knight trilogy did and say, "Oh, that was the prequels to this movie," and we're going to play it off as now we can go ahead. We have kind of solidified the characters into the retcon, and we're going to go and kill them off now so that we can bring them back. I think they're going to do something like that with the Civil War. I really have this,
You're talking Marvel.
Oh,
Civil
yeah,
War,
in
right?
Marvel Civil War, yeah. I think there's a good chance that they're going to kill off Captain America, and I think Bucky's going to take his place. I mean, it's something that kind of happened in the comic books. Spoiler alert, sorry, but
That was 2004. I think we're
Yeah,
past the
I
point of
mean-
spoilers.
but I don't want to make any speculations that are going to ruin the movie for anybody. So.
If either Batman or Superman die, I think the replacement for the Justice League should be Bubble Boy. If anyone knows who that is, he's just a big giant boy who's shaped like a bubble.
You talking about the guy from Seinfeld that lives in
Oh, he died a few years ago. Boo! That was insensitive.
Too soon.
He died in real
Professor X is
life.
gonna be replaced by Beak. Oh,
wow.
Okay, that was weird.
But no, I mean, the thing of it is, they could kill off one of the two main characters, but then there'd be a giant vacuum in the Justice League. Because
it'd be interesting to watch play out. I'm under no illusions that any of that's going to happen.
But I mean, did you read any of the Justice League books at the time when Batman was out of commission and Superman was dead?
No.
They were real boring.
Yeah.
Because
they did it wrong. They should have made it a sort of a Game of Thronesy power struggle.
Well, it kind of was, because like you had Aquaman, who because of his natural born leadership should have been like I should have been king. I should have been the leader. And then you had Wonder Woman, who was like, but no, because you're real bad at leading. And then Martian Manhunter is like, but I don't want anything. So.
All right. That's some really good opinions on Superman and Batman, but I think we all agree it's going to be a movie that people will be looking forward to. So some strong thoughts. Now, quick response. I did mention that many of you are from the Comic Book League, or actually all of you were once a member of the Comic Book League. So for those at home that don't know who this new league is, who are we and what do we do?
You want to start out, Chris, because you started it, and I'll go ahead and...
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, yeah, so in a nutshell, the Comic Book League was something I started, it was, I think, October, about 2 or 3 years ago, probably 2012 or 2013, and it was kind of a collaboration with me and Jesse Noble, who is also the owner of the Gem City Comic Con that's coming up this weekend. We went and we just kind of collaborated, and we were just thinking, what could we do for Wright State that was comic book related, that hasn't been done before, that could actually bring people together, under one roof, and kind of like maybe, turn it into something that's fun, quirky, something that we can teach with, and so we decided let's go ahead and start up a student organization, and we went ahead and we started the league that year, and we started, recruiting people and getting them in there, and once we got them in there, we just kind of turned it into like a classroom kind of setting, where we were using comic books each week, trying to teach, the structure of the comic books, how they were created, just fun things. We were having trivia games and stuff like that, just trying to bring awareness for the comic book culture to the campus. And so over the last few years, we've transitioned into each generation of the Comic Book League has something different to offer. And so eventually, my time as president, I graduated, and so I passed it on to Doc. And now if Doc wants to talk about like how it's going now, he can tell you.
Sure. So after Chris literally passed on the hammer.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
Chris passed what we've been calling the Hammer of Judgment, which I keep forgetting at home. After Chris passed it on, we kind of went from more of a Teen Titans kind of feel than a Justice League kind of feel. Because I really did enjoy what you did, but I'm not the kind that can set it up in a classroom setting every week. I prefer to have kind of an open discussion. So we'll start with we usually start with the news for the week and then share what we've all read this week.
Yes.
And then we'll get on to whatever I want to talk about this week, as a pseudo lesson, and then we kind of just discuss it for the remainder of the time. So we actually have a 2-hour time block now for that reason, because we were starting with the way we were doing it last semester. We got real crunched for time at the end. So instead we're doing 2 hours. That way we have a little more wiggle room. But
That's my idea.
Yeah, it was Kathy's idea. Kathy gets all of the credit for that one. So high five, Kathy.
My mom just texted me and told me to talk.
People at home, Kathy high-fived me, and hi, Kathy's mom.
Hi, Kathy's
Yes, hi, Kathy's mom.
Let's all say hi to Kathy's mom real quick.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Mrs. Rodabaugh.
No,
Mrs. I'm sorry. Hi, Mrs. Rose.
Mrs. Rose?
Lacey. Hi,
Hi, Kathy's
Mrs.
mom, whose name I didn't get wrong. I didn't try, though, so to be fair. Anyway, so we decided to kind of do it a little more as an open panel forum than a classroom setting. And it's had its good and its bads, but I like it. And like I said, Chris, I really respected how you did it. I just don't have it in me to set up a lesson plan every week.
Yes, it is very awesome what you do, Doc. And of course, you go on great rants when you talk about something that's stupid in the comic book world. You just throw stuff everywhere.
I do.
You go to all the boards, write stuff down. You write dirty words that I can't repeat on the air. And
Hey, yeah, okay.
anyway.
Well, we also
No,
we have
go ahead.
an auction each week. I
Yes,
think
we
that's
do.
very important to know. And so basically, when you come to our league meetings, you will get fantasy points, basically. For your first meeting, you get like 3, and then after that, every time you show up, you get a point. And those kind of, there's things that you can do during the week, like you can go into your local comic book shop. If you bring in a receipt that you purchased something, you get points for that. Just talking during the league meetings, just to kind of like get people being interactive with the comic book community. You'll get these points, and then we will have an auction for comic books that are either donated by other members, or if people go out to like half-price books, pick up a few books to sell or to buy, and then bring them into the league meetings. You can go ahead and purchase them as if you were using fantasy money. And it's absolutely free, and it's just kind of something fun to keep people reading. We've had a lot of fun with that, and it's gone through variations.
Thankfully, points aren't deducted for bad jokes because I would have none of the points.
I believe I've actually given you bonus points for your jokes before.
Well, I mean, it would I know the myriad of times that you've told me to get out.
Oh, the
get out! Get out is pretty much my catchphrase.
There you go.
If a dog tells you to get out, then it's a sure sign that you are truly a member of the Comic Book League.
It's true.
Badge of honor.
Milestone.
I just wanted to raise the point that if you're kind of new to the comic book world and this seems like a good idea, but you're intimidated by the fact that you don't know much, that shouldn't stop you from coming. We are kind to noobs, we don't judge, and you get caught up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
When I first started coming here, I knew almost nothing. And I still don't know a whole lot.
Yes, you can learn a lot of the league.
So, don't be intimidated.
I was actually invited to the Comic Book League by Doc when he was merely the vice president, I think.
Yeah, I was Chris's vice president at the time.
Yeah.
Right. He invited me here. I have basically zero knowledge about comics, and
that's okay.
I still had fun because it's a learning experience too. I mean, the discussion goes both ways. I mean, you can don't be afraid to just come in, see what it's like, and join our merry bunch of misfits.
The misfits.
Though speaking as someone who is a massive nerd and quite proud of that fact that I straightened my bow tie, for those that are just looking for a place to geek out and love all the things that one loves when one is a nerd and quite pleased with that, this is the perfect place for you, because we take the base concept of comics and we basically outsource it into all the other realms.
Yes.
Well, it's not just... Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
There are nights where we don't just talk about comics. We talk about manga, which are Japanese comics. We also talk about anime on occasion and sci-fi.
Well,
Doctor
At least likes that.
Doctor Who represents.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask one more question as part one.
Sorry, manga.
Now, here's the deal.
We're getting cross looks.
Oh, it's okay. Now, I'll ask one more question as part one, and then some of the questions I had for part one, I'll move to part two, because I got some songs I got to play. And, of course, keep to a timely format. But this has been great so far. So I'm going to ask one more question before going to commercial and playing more music. If any of you had a time machine, what would you go and do?
Can't change history, not 1 second.
If going by television, you have to kill Hitler. But after you're done with that, I don't know. I might go be better at high school or something. I was awful. I was an awful kid.
This got depressing.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh no, I mean just
still is awful.
Yeah.
Would you try going to Yale?
I'm great now. I'm fantastic.
Yeah, you're the man. Woohoo!
Yay!
Anyone else want to top that?
Machine. Oh, Kathy, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear yours.
So, my obligatory, Great Scott, that's a great joke. Guys get it? So anyway, now Doc is going to just lay down and die over there because he's ashamed. So, I would probably go back in time so many times because I could go back in time and fix the stuff I did to history. So I would just do all kinds of different things just to see what would happen. And then I would go back and then tell my past, future, whatever me, this is what happened. Now go do this instead. And then
it
would be
awesome.
so cool.
Create a time paradox.
Yeah, and then I could write history books that wouldn't be true later, but it'd still be fun. And
that's awesome, Kathy.
That's what I do.
I would totally go back in time and buy up all the Action comic books, #1. First appearance of Superman. Bury them somewhere, and just, someplace that I'll know in the future.
You be like Biff in
By
Back to the
myself
Future
and
too.
I
You
would-
don't everybody.
Yeah, but
you and
you
the
know,
cops.
I don't think I would be as cruel.
Oh, that's true. You'd be
Now
nice.
that
You'd be nicer.
now that
Be
you
a merciful lord.
Now that you told me, I have to
let's
change my
see.
answer to stalking you to find out where your stash of action number ones
Or
are,
hiding.
and then burn them all.
All right. That's awesome.
This got dark.
But anyway,
Yeah, I better.
And then I
We better calm down.
I'm a bit of a,
I
I'm a
would
bit
be
of a
the
more.
only one.
I tell you what, I'm gonna go against the grain here and say, if I had the promise of being able to return to my normal time, I'd actually head into the future to see what kind of stuff humanity will get itself into next.
Yeah, you don't want to know that.
It's,
But come on!
what's worse than knowing when the other shoe drops?
No, but
Not
see,
knowing.
if I went to the future, I'd just stay there. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
come
okay,
back.
good point. I would just go to the future and not. I would be fine.
You know,
I'd just stay
I'd
there.
like sneak
Oh, at
away
least
a
we'd
little
miss ya.
keepsake.
I would spend a few years living in the 60s, which is where I feel I
Yeah.
belong.
Yeah.
Those are all good
I would
answers.
go-
I guess.
I'd eventually come back, though.
I guess
I'd bring
to.
Kathy along with me.
All
Of
right.
course, I think
Yeah.
60s, 70s, 80s is kind of
But
the de facto answer.
Also, to end things on a more serious note with this particular question, I think if I had a time machine, aside from going back to the past, because I'm a massive fan of antiques and the golden age of comics and such, I'd probably go to my middle school and 9th grade selves and tell them to stop fighting the nerddom, because when I was younger, I tried to fight the nerddom because it was a stereotype and it was bad and blah blah blah. A lot of arguments you hear from a lot of people these days. We can't take the word nerd because it's bad. And then I sat down one day in like my 11th grade year and I thought to myself, what are the qualities of a nerd that get you put in that label to begin with? The intellect, the quirkiness, the passion for the random things. And then I was just like, you know what? I am going to be the best nerd I am, because those qualities, aside from what people think about those qualities, those are aspirable, and those are unchanging parts of my nature. So you know what? If I'm going to be a nerd, I'm going to be the best one I can be.
That's right.
First day of my senior year, I started wearing bow ties. Never looked back.
That was really touching, Dalton.
All right. Hi, Kathy's mom.
Hi, Kathy's mom!
Yes, Kathy's mom won 2 tickets to Gem State Comic Con, so will bring 2 of her friends or family relatives other than Kathy to the event this Sunday. And we still have 2 more up for grabs, which I will try to give away by 11 o'clock tonight. So keep calling in if you want to win them. And also, Doc has something to say.
I just wanted to give a few quick shout-outs. Hi, everyone I told to listen. Hi, Serenity. Hi, Jude. Hi, Lily.
Hi,
That's all.
all those people.
Hey, shush you.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to hear it from you.
I want to say hi to them people too.
Them people?
Them people.
What does that mean?
Them peoples. I like
Apparently
people.
doesn't care enough to use appropriate
Listeners.
grammar, though.
One of the 9 people listening, thank you for listening.
What?
That's sad.
Wow.
No, there's a lot more than that. I've loved the audience we have here tonight. We got a mixture of people that are listening to this new tournament that I'm putting on this year, and of course, I think the Comic League has its own fan base. So we got millions of people all over the world listening right now. Okay, not a million, but it's really good. So thank you for everyone that's been listening tonight. I got a few questions. The first thing I want to ask is around the world. Well, besides Gem City Comic Con, which should be, I went to it last year, and it'll be good again this year. What's a good Comic Con to go to? Anyone can answer this.
Every year, Chris and I go to Dragon Con in Atlanta over Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It is a lot of fun. It's a
All right.
4-day convention.
Uh-huh.
It goes from Thursday to Monday.
All right.
And it's a blast. It spans 5 hotels that host it.
Oh.
But every hotel in like a 4-mile area is entirely booked the whole weekend. It sprawls through the mall. It goes everywhere.
Yeah, you're
It's
looking at about
packed.
you're basically about 52,000 people, I think. That
I think it was
go to the-
5,200.
52.
Yeah.
No way. No, there was a
Yeah,
lot.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that place.
This
Did
is
you-
like the East Coast version of Comic Con in the sense of numbers, I think, but it's not.
It is. I think it's about half the size of San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, and I think they have over 100,000 people. But it's actually one massive dress-up party, costume party.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really meant for comic book people to go there and buy comic books. You can.
That's totally available.
There are gaming rooms and stuff, but for the most part, it's one giant party. It's a lot of fun, and like he said, it's like 3 or 4 hotels that are actually hosting it. I actually proposed to my now fiance there.
Yes, that was awesome.
We did like this giant Marvel photo shoot.
It was
and stuff.
cute.
Spencer helped me out with it. It was pretty fantastic. But it's something I can brag about all the time now. But
Yes.
that's one of our places that we just like to go every year and stuff.
Did you guys go all 4 days?
Yes.
Yeah. We went down.
How much does it cost?
For a host hotel room, which you have to get basically right away. They're all sold out like within minutes of opening.
Yeah. You're looking at about $1,000.
It was about $1,000 for the weekend.
Wow.
But we split that about
4 or
7 ways.
Yeah. It depends. Yeah. But the tickets themselves, if you get them like a year in advance, right after the other one ends, it's only $75. But you can expect that to be like double that at the door.
The high price point. It is fairly expensive compared to like Gym City, which is what 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fairly expensive, but
10.
there is just a plethora of guests. Every year they get Patrick Stewart. I saw William Shatner. Carrie Fisher was there.
Carrie Elwes, the Princess Bride guy.
Oh yeah,
they have
just.
That sounds awesome. Well,
guess.
I'll need to rob a few banks to go to this thing because it is a $1,000 ticket. So
yeah, I want to. Well, the tickets are much cheaper than that if you're.
Oh, they know I'm kidding.
But I also would like to go to PAX East. It's the Penny Arcade Expo.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit more toward the gaming, and it's a lot of developers go to there. To show off their stuff, and there's a lot of new things there.
But there were also.
But I'd like to go to that.
But for people that are just like they want to stick to this area, the Dayton area. There are other conventions that are all year round. Like there's one that I'm actually participating with. It's called the. No, it escapes my mind. It's the Champion
C4.
City Comic Con, yeah, and it's out in Springfield at Wittenberg University, and we do that. It's going to be September 26th, I believe, this year. It's a smaller convention than Gym City.
Yeah.
But still same thing. Get to out there to see independent creators and stuff like that.
Can we put a little shameless plug in here though?
Go ahead.
We have if you're going to go to Gym City, which everyone listening should, we have our panel. What time is our panel on Saturday, Chris?
Noon on Saturday.
Our panel is on the 28th at noon in one of the Barry rooms. So shameless plug. Also.
Yes, and I will be there, Daniel Diesel.
Also, it goes from Friday the 27th through Sunday the 29th for everyone at home who didn't know that. We had a text in to ask that question.
So what's the panel about?
Chris, would you like to? Because you were the
Yes, you helped
creator of
us.
this original concept.
Okay.
Yes, you got us in.
Last year we did the evolution of the hero, which I felt was a very narrow topic. But this year we're doing the evolution of comics in general.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be basically what it is. It's a panel discussion where we're going to have we've got like 6 panelists right now, mostly from the Comic Book League, but we also have our guest panelist, which is Victor Dandridge Jr., who's an independent creator from Columbus, and also Dustin Carson, who is also an independent creator. And they helped us out last year. We had a great time. We had a blast, a great turnout. And the way it's set up is it's just a giant panel discussion where everybody can come. And they can actually share their thoughts on the questions we're going to ask. So we're going to ask a bunch of random questions about things that have changed over time in comic books, how we think things are progressing in the comic book communities and stuff, and get their opinions just to kind of keep the interest of the conversation going. Then people from the audience can join in, with their opinions and stuff like that. And it's just a healthy debate kind of thing. So it's just to get people interested in comic books.
Awesome. Now I'll plug that again at the end of the show, but thank you for that, Christopher. Now, Christopher, I want to ask you, now you mentioned earlier you were the founder of the Comic Book League. Of course, you've moved on to focus full-time on your new company, Angel E Comics. So what can people expect from Angel E Comics within the next year? What do you have planned for people that follow your product?
I love the way you pronounce it.
Did I say it wrong?
No, I mean it's technically right. It's kind of a play on words. Like it's Angelic Comics, but it's also Angel I, like the letter I Comics. So
I said Angel League
Angel League Comics.
Angel. I put.
You can say it however you want.
Oh, I don't
It's
want.
all
I
spelled
want
the same.
Angel Eye Comics. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, what it was a few years ago, I started my own blog, which is a lot of my work just to try to get it out there into the world. So I've kind of diddled with that over the last few years. I only updated maybe once or twice a month, just with panel, just little tidbits of things that are on my mind, how I think comic books are going, so that right now, I'm kind of with work and doing that, I'm trying to create my own comic book. So I'm actually going to start focusing more on getting my script done for my very first comic book, and hopefully next year at Gym City, I will have that. I will try to get that first comic book out by then, but it's a lot of work to get done. But if you want to check it out, you can either go to Google and just type in Angel and then the letter I and comics.
Letter I.
And you'll pretty much find anything related to me.
Angel Eye Comics.
Angel I.
I'm gonna say it right this time.
Or Angelic Comics, it's fine.
No, it's Angel Eye. I'm sticking to it.
And I started a Twitch Play channel recently, so it's attached to that. So you can check that out on Twitch. I like to play video games, related usually to comic books, and I like to talk while I'm playing games and stuff. And then we've kind of progressed with the Cover to Cover podcast.
Yeah, Spencer, talk about your new Cover to Cover podcast. What's that all about?
Okay, so Cover to Cover is a bi-monthly podcast that Chris and I are doing. It was actually and the idea was born from one of my other friends who sadly was unable to carry it through to completion. But we basically have a little bit of a discussion about comics that came out in the last week or so, news from the comic book world that we find circulating around the internet or from various movie studios or whatever.
What's the home website of your show?
Well, you can find it through our Facebook page, which is Cover to Cover Podcast.
Okay.
And all one word, and it'll show up.
All right. Well, good. For those at home that are interested, check that out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's about an hour, sometimes two, depending on if we have a special.
It's still in its baby phase, so we haven't got like an intro music or anything like that. It's
Oh,
very raw.
You guys only done a few episodes. I checked out one.
I'm not exactly a musician, so we're still looking for.
So once we find our our stride with what we're doing, things will look a lot better with it. So we're excited about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead, Dalton.
Also, this is another shameless plug for League, because I don't think we mentioned what place or time it is yet on the...
Yes, go ahead and tell it.
Because it's 050 of Reich Hall right now.
Every Thursday night.
Thursdays, 7 to 9.
2 hours long.
And we've been trying desperately to expand our membership. So if you're interested at all, I encourage it, and I may rant about it if you don't.
It's
So
058, right?
058, right.
Oh, is it 058? Alright then.
Yes. We have auctions. You can win free comic book stuff.
To meet cool people and
toys, whatever we have.
Talk about all that's good with comic books.
This microphone has been precariously placed in front of me, and I'm not really sure what to do.
Jacob?
Yes?
Do you have a joke?
I haven't heard you say anything in a while. I honestly
it's been a while.
Here.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Jacob, before we end this interview, I want you to think of a pun, because we only got time for one more.
Oh, you
well, maybe
put
two
him on
more.
the spot.
Because I'm running. We got a new rule, so I got to get this over with. I can't have so many people after 10 o'clock, so let's get these questions asked. Kathy's mom wants to know,
All right,
Kathy,
I guess,
do you have a pun?
not yet, but I will.
Well, think of something.
At the end.
You got a few minutes to think about it. Kathy, your mom wants to know what's your favorite... Kathy, your mom wants to know what's your favorite character from Attack on Titan.
That will now be answered by Elise.
Go ahead.
Oh, good.
Wow.
My secretary.
Based on hotness.
Oh.
I think.
No, okay. All of
You
our
guys.
families are listening to this. Remember that.
I think Levy or Levi, however you pronounce his name, people are gonna kill me for this. I just know it because I'm probably not gonna
The
pronounce any of the names
throngs of
right.
Comic League fans
I
are
think
already
I think
enraged.
it is Levy, actually.
Levy. Okay. Well, I think
Phonetically,
he
it
is
would be Levy.
probably probably Kathy's favorite.
Whoa.
Kathy, agree to
Besides
that.
Aaron.
Agree to
Besides
that so we
Aaron.
can just move on to the next question.
I mean,
Just do what you gotta do. That's my sister's favorite character too, by the way.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't quite know who's all alive because from what I've heard, it's just like people die.
this is where we need the
Spoiler
censorship
Spoiler
button.
Colossal
alert!
Titan.
Spoiler alert.
Die, and
Colossal
then
Titan.
just come back, and I'm just like,
So flashy.
yeah.
Anyway,
Where can you find this show at? Is it a show or an actual comic book?
It's an
Adult Swim.
anime.
Adult Swim anime, okay.
What's
On the Cartoon
It's on
Network.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I might have to check it out and see what the hoopla's all about because I've actually heard of that before.
Spencer
Let
actually.
me just say there are probably Titans and they're probably being attacked.
Yeah!
That is so
Round of applause. That was
There
it.
it was. There it was, ladies
Round of
and gentlemen.
applause.
Keep
Round of
running
applause.
home.
No one's clapping. Nah.
I clapped. So, my
That's not my ending pun.
my
though.
little sister actually
Okay.
also wanted
This is
to
not
know.
even my final form.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. My little sister actually also wanted to know what Spencer thinks, or anyone thinks, is going to be in the basement.
Okay, so
answered
this
that
is
already.
this is I guess a bit of a spoiler alert for people who are just watching the anime, because we're just getting to the point where a lot of the questions about the Titans and how they came to be are getting answered in the comic. So I guess be wary. But what I think is going to be in the basement is going to kind of unlock the secret of why Aaron's father had the Historia family murdered, why he had them all killed and stole the Titan power. And I think that we're going to finally figure out what it is that makes Aaron so different, why he can use the Titan powers in a way that's different from everybody else before. Previously, it was I guess people had their memories erased by
Okay.
getting the power that he's got.
Alright.
And I don't know. I think it's going to be neat.
All right, Spence.
I'm looking forward to it, but
Cool.
we still don't really know what it is.
All right. Well, quick reminder. Yes, if you're interested in going to Jim City Comic Con, we will all be there this Saturday. Most of us will be on the panel starting at 12 noon in Roomberry 1. And of course, if you know what any of us look like, just come up with us and say hi. But of course, I'll get this. You're hearing the show tonight. This will be on YouTube in a few weeks. That's how I do it most of the time. But thank you guys for. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. This has been amazing. All 8 of you came, and this is. I'm touched. A lot more came than I thought. I was expecting, I think 5 yet, and we wound up getting 8. So it was like a nice little party atmosphere, if you will.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank
Well,
you.
one more thing now. Jacob, do you have any final words for us?
Yes. Remember, folks, there may be better sources for news, but they don't have this ragtag bunch of misfits. And if I may say, we are in a league of our own.
There it is.
Yes.
He landed it,
He
folks.
did.
He landed
He crushed it.
And for those and for those who enjoyed this ragtag bunch of misfits, as it were, this is basically a microcosm of how all the league meetings go, but in censored form. So just think about that.
Yeah, we were
for
censored
a
tonight.
second.
Yeah,
Think about
we're a little
that
bit
for a
free.
second.
We're a little bit
Radio
free.
edit, you could say.
Yes, we're a little bit free to say what we want on Thursday nights, but we were family friendly tonight.
We are
thank you
a family-friendly
so
organization.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you,
While
Dalton.
held by the FCC.
Think about the children. All right. So thank you once again. With that, it's time to get back to the music of Dayton Indie Music Madness. Up next, we got Honey and Houston with Dreamer. Followed by that, I got Jake Knows Harmonica with Never Trust a Skinny Cook. And after that, I got Just Slam with Memories. So I'm going to play those 3 songs next, and then I'll come back after that with my final message. You are listening to Ohio is on Fire. You're on WWSU 106.9 FM. Dane's Right Choice. I'll give a rundown of Jim City Comic Con. So here's tonight's final message. I want to run down Jim City Comic Con 2015. Talk about some of the main guests and some of the main cool features. We got Greg Land. We got Peter Begg. Herb Trimple. He was the writer for The Hulk. We did the artwork for The Hulk. And Jay Liston. And then Phil Hester. We got Greg Rosson. And Arlen Schrumer, he created Billfinger. Never heard of that, but anyway, we got Jeff Schwartz. He did the artwork for Betty and Veronica. And the big guest of the year is Chris Shambar. He did the comic book drawings for The Simpsons, and he's going to have his own panel, so that's going to be awesome. Also, we got Mark Kidwell, Daryl Banks, Steve Scott, and we got Eric Adams, Chad Lambert, Joe Corley, Dave Akins, and then Nate Lovett. He does drawings for a price. And then from Dayton, Ohio, Kyle Holtz. And Sean Fournay, he was on my show a few weeks ago, awesome guy. And then Chris Ragnott, Christy Blanche, and Justin Wasson. So that's just the key people that's going to be there. We got a bunch of people come to this thing. There's going to be panels where you can go into a room and hear people have discussions about different aspects of the comic book world. And I'm going to plug it once again. We're going to have our own. I'm going to be on a panel along with many members of the Comic Book League. It'll be at 12 noon this Saturday, March 28th, in Berry Room 1 at the Nutter Center. I plan on having an awesome time. And in addition to me doing my panel, which I'm very honored that Christopher got me on that panel, I will be filming that panel, and I will be doing an episode of Ohio is on Fire. I'll tell you how that works. If you're familiar with my show, I do like my segments, and I play music, and of course I add out the music for YouTube, of course. Of course, I have my featured guests. It'll be the way I will film this show this Saturday. I'll just go around filming things. I'll have conversations. It'll be a mixture of my traditional Ohio's on Fire format, mixed with other out of the ordinary shenanigans, which of course will include my panel appearance. And I'm going to call this the Ohio's on Fire Road Show. It's my first ever one. I think this is a big breakthrough for the show that I've done for many years now. I've been discussing doing this for quite some time. And one of the big things is to have a weekly show, like I have here at WWSU. I will be doing that. So my very first one will be this Saturday. I will film, and then that'll be uploaded to YouTube several weeks later. You have to follow me at Facebook, which is facebook.com/OHIOF. Just a little bit of advice for I end tonight's show and play the music from Dayton Indie Music Madness. Just always be a kid at heart. I know we have to live in this real world. I gotta pay taxes. You do too. You do gotta grow up in a lot of cases. But there's always that thing that we grew up with. Something that we enjoyed, the way that we communicate with people. Like the things that, like your environment, it was makes you who you are. And if you put yourself in a bad environment, that's going to eat away at your brain. It's going to take away everything that you love. It'll make you bitter. I've known a lot of people over the years that have grown bitter. And the key to that is to hold on to the things that you love, no matter who tells you what, who joshes at you. You got to listen to the music that you love or the book that you love to read. You keep doing it. You do it until you're tired. If you don't want to do it anymore, you just you find something else. But that's on you. I believe when people do something that they're expected to do, or some demanding authority figure does tell you what to do, then that's selling out. You're selling out to the demands of people that don't care about you. If you remember what it felt like to be when you were younger and how innocent it was, an innocent time, it's still there. It's in all of us. You can hold on to that in one way, shape, or form. It's there. So that's my advice for this week. So until next Tuesday night, where my special guest is Kimberly Weiss. She is a music expert from Music Connection, and she'll give her thoughts on my tournament. Until next Tuesday night, Ohio, that's the way it is.